Today we are going to be talking about Alexandra Rodriguez, or formerly known as Learning to Be Fearless. If you're not familiar with who this is someone that has been making YouTube videos for quite a long time. Back in the day, her channel was a lot about kind of like body positivity, loving yourself no matter what. She actually got into quite a bit of controversy a few years back now, which we talked about on the channel. But the controversy was that she ended up getting a part of her stomach surgically removed and didn't disclose that with her followers. And the reason that people had a problem with that was because she was very much like, love your body no matter what. You should, like that kind of, she was that kind of person, very body positive, right? And so people had a big issue with her getting this thing surgically removed and not disclosing it and actively basically trying to hide the fact that the surgery happened. Eventually it came out and she confessed basically that she did get the surgery, she didn't share it with her followers, and that she was going to try and be more transparent moving forward. And then fast forward about 5 months ago, Alex ended up getting weight loss surgery. And again, people were a little weirded out by it because again, up until that point, it was very much so like love your body no matter what, kind of like a body positive kind of account. And recently, the reason we're going to be talking about this today is because she released a video titled Addressing My Failed Weight Loss Surgery. Now, most of this video is kind of a vlog, so we're going to skip to about 20 minutes into the video. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Took a shower, been kind of chilling, but I don't know. I have something on my chest that I have been like not wanting to talk about, but like feel like I kind of need to talk about because I'm just really sick of seeing these comments. Like, I know we're not supposed to let comments get to us as content creators or whatever the word is. I don't like the word influencer, but comments do get to you sometimes. They really do. And like,
yeah, I mean, 100%. To anyone, I mean, I guess I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like most people, comments are going to get to you no matter what. No matter how much you might say that they don't, it's tough to kind of just let it roll off your back. Like,
this is something that's already hard for me. But when I like read comments about it, it's hurtful. Seeing people say like, why is she still so big? How do you feel having another failed weight loss surgery? Comments like that are really, really not cool. People love to bash me about my weight and about how I have had gastric bypass and I'm not thin. I have lost well over 100 pounds. I have been feeling the healthiest, happiest version of myself. I work out consistently 3 times a week for the last several months. My blood work is great. My blood pressure, my cholesterol, everything is great. I feel so good mentally, physically. It's really discouraging to see people give me so much hate just because I had gastric bypass and I didn't come out of it a year later, like super thin, like a lot of people do.
So here, it's interesting because what she's saying is right? Like, people think that, and this is a big misconception when it comes to weight loss surgery and even like the new drugs that are coming out, Ozempic and Wegovy and stuff, is like people think that there's something that exists that is a magic button that you press and then everything is fixed. It doesn't work like that. And so I don't know what Alex is actually doing. I don't know exactly what her routine is, but you can absolutely 100% get weight loss surgery and lose some weight. This happens to a lot of people. You lose some weight and then you end up gaining it almost all back eventually, right? You can stretch your stomach out. Again, I don't know exactly what she's doing, but a lot of people have this thought that it is going to be the end all be all. It's going to fix all your problems. If you don't fix your problems with food while you're getting, before the surgery, while you're working on getting the surgery, you're doing the pre-op diet, all that stuff. If you don't work on that relationship with food, it's not just gonna you're gonna have this surgery and then all of a sudden it's gonna be fixed. Like it's not, right? And so a lot of times this is why I always say to anyone that is considering drugs, medication, surgery, anything like that, understand that there are side effects. And if you are not comfortable with those, don't do it, right? Because these are, especially the surgery, are life-altering things that you're doing to your body that have a lot of chances of having side effects, right? My most recent video was with Des and she shared all of these complications that she had. So you have to be very careful.
Like, it sucks because then people assume that I'm eating poorly and people are going to comment, you eat a ton of bread and pasta. No, I don't. I do not share every single thing I eat. Everything I eat is talked about with my nutritionist, my protein pasta. If I have a little bit of bread, it's usually whole grain. Like, I don't just eat a bunch of bread and pasta. And I don't even need to sit here and explain myself because that's just exhausting. But like,
I mean, I agree with that. I don't think you, I definitely don't think you have to explain yourself. Where it becomes a problem, I don't want to say a problem, but like, you have to understand that if you end up, like, I'm not saying it's your fault, but if you end up sharing this stuff online, people are going to comment on it, right? This is a big reason why I don't do many full day of eating videos, why I don't share what I eat, because I know people are going to have their crappy opinions. They're going to say what they're going to say, and I just don't want to deal with it. Like, so for me, the answer is I'm just not going to share it, because why would I want to deal with that all the time? I do every once in a while, right? And I know people have their comments, but it's like, that's why I don't share all that stuff, because one, I think it's kind of boring. I don't know why people like watching that stuff, but that's another thing. I don't want to deal with people sharing their opinions, because people will always share their opinions. And the thing is that when you are posting online, it's clear that you want the engagement. You want people to watch your videos. And a lot of your videos are you sharing what you're eating, you sharing what you're doing. And so because you have decided to open those doors, I'm not saying like people should say that stuff, but people are going to say that stuff, right? It's just part of the job, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Like, it's not cool to make up assumptions about me and what I eat and my health and my body. It's hard enough to put myself online, like pretty much every day I film, and just know I'm gonna get scrutinized about my body. You know, it was vulnerable to share me having weight loss surgery anyway. You guys know when I was 16, I had lap band surgery, which people don't even really do now. I had a horrible experience with lap band. I threw up like all my food. It was such a relief when I got it removed a few years after. This experience has been totally different. I know so many people expect you to come out of gastric bypass like thin. That's what you see. That's what you see with a lot of people. And that just hasn't been my experience.
So here, I would say that, I'm not saying I disagree with her, but I would say that the averages probably would say that most people don't end up thin, right? Because it doesn't happen for most people. I think we see a lot of people that are very successful in their weight loss surgeries. Those are the people that end up getting popular, that end up getting a following, that, you know, people follow them because maybe they want to get the surgery, and so they're following someone that has had like overwhelming success that maybe isn't the average. But I would say that most people probably don't end up thin. Again, like when I talk about these surgeries and these drugs, like the goal should be to get to a point where your weight is no longer affecting your health negatively. That's like the goal, right? The goal probably shouldn't be, I want to look sexy. Like if that's something you want, I'm not saying you can't have that, but that's what we should be shooting for, right? And so that's not going to mean everyone's going to be a size 2 or whatever, right? I think that's, I don't know women's sizes, but like, you know, is going to be a size small and is going to have a 6-pack or whatever, right? That's just not going to happen for the vast majority of people. But if these surgeries and these drugs are able to help people get to a point where their weight is no longer affecting their health, that's a positive, right? In my mind.
I'm eating well. I still eat way less than I did before my surgery. I honestly love the surgery. It's helped me eat more balanced. It's helped me with portion control and like kind of in a forced way, just because like I get full way more quickly now. I'm happy I had the surgery. No, I didn't come out of it thin, but that's not to say my health journey is done. And I also don't care about being thin. I care about being healthy, and I feel the healthiest I have in a really long time. And I hate that I'm even talking about this, because I know it's just fuel for you watching. If you don't like me and you hate watch me and you're just here to critique me, your life is sad. I think it's really sad that you're doing that, and I hope that like you find some love and joy in your life. If you are here watching me and you actually love me and support me, I freaking love you. And I see a lot of you guys defend me, and that just means so much. But like, it's just not right to critique my body and assume all of my eating habits and just like assume I'm a failure because I had weight loss surgery and didn't come out of it stereotypically thin. That's not right, and it's not fair, and it causes major issues to people who are in my position who are afraid to share or afraid to get surgery. It's just spreading negativity online in its own right is it's just so icky that you would want to put someone's mental health in jeopardy. And most of you doing that are the people that have in your bio, just peace and love, like positivity only, positive vibes only, like come on. And I just haven't wanted to talk about it because it's a lot of pressure on me anyway, because like, do you really not think I've put that pressure on myself already? Do you think I'm not already hard on myself? And it's exhausting because honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm always going to be big, and I've kind of accepted that because I'm not equating that with health anymore. I've always been big since I was a kid.
So there's a lot to unpack there. I think what she said about like people having like peace and love in their bio, that's a lot of times that's true. I deal with comments and stuff like that, usually on Instagram, because on YouTube most people like their account is like basically anonymous, but on Instagram like people use their accounts, and I'll go because I can't help it, and I'll look and it's like God first and like all this stuff. I'm like, okay, well that's nice, good for you. But I think that thinking to yourself, I'll always be big. I don't really like that kind of thinking. I mean, you did have a very serious surgery that should help with losing weight, right? Like that's why it exists. Like the surgery doesn't not do anything. If it did nothing, what's the point, right? And so this surgery absolutely should help you lose weight. And if that's something that you want to continue doing, because it really does feel, and this is just speculation on my part, it does feel like she is kind of frustrated herself with where she's at, right? Like it feels to me that she wishes she was a little bit smaller. And I mean, I think that goes into why even getting the surgery in the first place, right? Again, I understand that she said it is for her health, and I think that is awesome. And I think that that's why most people should be getting the surgery, right? Like it's a very serious surgery, and you should be like, I'm worried about my health, I'm going to get the surgery so I don't have to be as worried about it, and so that I can have something to help me with it, right? And so I disagree with I think I'll always be big. I think that if you, like Alex, if you're watching this, right, if you truly are frustrated and struggling, I think there are avenues that you can take, and there are ways that you could probably make the weight loss continue. Like if you are frustrated, where the position that you're in right now is not something that is like an anomaly. It's not, right? It's absolutely not. This is very, very common for people. And I want to make that clear for the people that are maybe being mean or whatever. This is not some anomaly. It's not like she's completely lazy and isn't trying. This is very normal. People lose 100 pounds getting the gastric bypass or the sleeve or whatever, and then their weight stops or it slows down. And a lot of times, from what I've understood of conversations I've had with people, it's maybe you aren't maybe making the best decisions, lack of knowledge, just not really putting into effect the things that maybe you should be, right? Because a lot of people, I'm not saying this is her, but I'm just in generalizations, a lot of people that get the surgery, they end up kind of becoming complacent because they can continue these bad habits and they're still losing weight. And so they're like, well, why would I change it if I'm still losing weight? And those things work until they don't anymore. Because once you end up losing enough weight, you don't have that. Because like if you think about your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure, right, the amount of calories that you burn in a day, that is higher as you are larger. So once you start losing weight, you don't have as much of a reserve to kind of just mess around with. So once you get lower and lower, and she's lost 100 pounds, right, people that are in this position, they no longer can kind of slack off a little bit and still get away with it, right? Because that reserve is a lot smaller. And so again, what she is struggling with, what she's going through, is not uncommon for people that have had surgeries, right?
I think you can be healthy and big. And I know before I had my surgery, I wasn't anymore. And I feel great now. And that's what matters to me. And I'm just going to continue to work on my health regardless of what I look like. Eating nutritiously, working out, finding balance, healthy relationship with food. Like that's what it was always about for me. And getting healthy to get pregnant, I feel great. Like my doctor is like, yes, queen. Like it's good. It's good. So please stop with that. If you keep going with it, like you will be blocked. Like that's it. It's not the right thing to do. This is my platform and I will not stand for the cruelty.
People might think that I'm wrong for thinking this, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Like if you're a creator and you're making videos and you don't want to see certain comments, like you are 100% within your right to block people. Like I see nothing wrong with that, right? People might be like, oh my God, well, she doesn't want to hear any criticism. Yeah, I mean, maybe. But again, that's her choice. Like, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do, right? Where I do think it becomes a problem, say she didn't like this video and tried to get it taken down, that's where it's like, okay, that's a little wrong, right? Because now it's no longer on your platform. But if you're talking about like blocking certain people on your platform, right? If people were coming to my Instagram and just leaving hateful comments, I'm not gonna be like, well, that's just what they think. No, I'm gonna block you. Like I'm not gonna force myself to deal with that. Like why would I do that, right? So I wouldn't expect anyone like her to do that as well.
Won't. I do appreciate how many people have been so supportive and kind and understanding, and like gastric bypass is just not a one size fits all, and it's not a one size journey fits all either. So just bottom line, be kind to people, spread love to people. You just don't know what goes on in everyone's life. I share so much of my life, but there's also so much I don't. Like these 20-30 minute vlogs are out of a 24-hour period. Like it's just, there's so much. The internet, it's so hard because I genuinely I love this job. I've been doing this job since 2011, and it's so beautiful, but I also just feel like sometimes we were not created as humans to endure a world of criticism from strangers online.
So I don't disagree with you, but I will say that like sharing it in a video that you are putting out there to people, talking about how like it's so weird that people just, I'm not trying to sound mean, but like people just don't care, right? Like the people that are watching your videos, like that's why I don't really talk about it very much, because I understand that it's like I'm talking to the amount of people that are going to understand what you're going through is very small, and it just this might sound like I'm being mean, but it just sounds like you're complaining, right? It's like it doesn't help. Like I share these thoughts with people that are close to me, but like do I really put it out there online too much? Not really, because it doesn't do me any good, because all I'm going to either hear is like people just yes manning me, being like, yeah, I totally understand, when they probably don't, because they're not in my position, or people disagreeing with me and arguing with me, and that doesn't make me feel any better. So stuff like this, I just feel like it's better just to either talk to someone close to you, therapist, someone that understands you, and leave it out of like this, because again, it just opens you up to people, you know, being like, well, I disagree, and you probably don't want to hear that, right?
I don't know how like celebrities deal with it, but like we were not made to be critiqued by thousands and thousands of strangers online. Like that's just, our mental health was not made for that. And I don't think unless you're in this position, you will ever understand the mental toughness it takes to read horrible things about yourself and just like not spiral. And I have spiraled. Thankfully, I'm in a better place, but like it's not easy. And I'm not saying that to get pity or sympathy. I love my job and I'm so fortunate to have it, but like it's hard. It's really hard sometimes, but I'm sorry to rant about it. I don't even know if I'll put this in the vlog. Sometimes I just need to like get it off my chest, but it's been lingering. It's been lingering lately. And I feel like I just need to address it, because like, no, I'm not thin. I didn't come out of my gastric bypass thin. I don't know where my body will be in the future, and I only care about being healthy. I really only care about that. Like, and it feels good because like for the first time in my life, like I just feel like stable. Like I've been very calm lately. Like I've just been feeling good about life and my routine, and I don't know. That's what it's all about. I just feel pretty at peace with everything. So anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to end it there. So again, like at the end of the day, I do think it's really important for anyone watching this, like if you are considering getting the surgery, again, manage your expectations, because again, what Alex is going through is not novel. This is a very, very normal thing to be going through. And so, yeah, does it suck that she is dealing with criticism of people saying that stuff? Yes. But again, the answer usually is if you don't want to deal with the criticism, don't share the stuff, you know, because if you just kind of keep it to yourself, you don't, you know, you're not going to be dealing with as much people saying stuff. And so when you do open it up and you do monetize those videos and talk about it, like people are going to share their thoughts, right? And yeah, it sucks when people are being judgmental and they're saying certain things. And I'm not saying I agree with any of that stuff, right? But I do think that at the end of the day, I am happy that Alex is happy. It seems like she obviously has lost a significant amount of weight. And at the end of the day, these surgeries are about getting people to a healthier place, right? They are not all about getting you to be thin. That's like probably one of the last things that you should be worried about, right? If you're actually considering a gastric bypass, a very, very serious surgery, like you should be at a point where you've basically tried everything, you feel like nothing is working, and you are very afraid of your health, right? Like some stuff is happening and you need to make this happen or it's going to get bad. At least that's how I feel, right? But maybe I'm just a douchebag that was able to lose the weight without it, and now I have this weird thought process about it. But I really feel like I've learned a lot about the surgeries, and I used to be a lot more against them. Now I'm definitely more open to people getting them. But I just think with anything, any sort of surgery, you should really weigh your options before you go down that path, because it's pretty serious, right? And so, Alex, I hope I wish you the best. I hope this works out for you. Again, like I said, what you're going through right now is not abnormal, which I would assume that you've probably talked to your doctors. They probably let you know that it's not abnormal. And again, it's only been a year, maybe even a little bit less. So like, it's not even like it was that long ago. And again, like if there are things that you want to do to speed up, like there definitely are things that I feel like you could probably do. But if you don't want to do those and you're happy with where you are now, and like you said, like your health is better than it's ever been, then there's no reason for you to force yourself to lose weight. I think that's that's not a good path to go down. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what I wanted to share. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.